Have you ever looked at Google and wondered why some local businesses just completely dominate the search results, while others, well, they're basically invisible? Today, we're going to break down a powerful 5-step system that can take a local business and rocket it to the top of the rankings in just a couple of weeks. And we're going to do it by following the story of a roofer who is right on the brink of disaster. You're going to see exactly how this is done. So I want you to meet Rick. Rick's a roofer in Kansas City. And when we first met him, he was under this immense, crushing pressure. The phone just wasn't ringing, and you could feel the weight of his company, his employees, his family, all of it right on his shoulders. The silence was just deafening.
And this is the real-world cost when marketing fails, right? I mean, Rick had truck payments coming due, all this expensive equipment just sitting there collecting dust, and every single evening he'd have to go home, look his wife in the eye, and tell her that the so-called marketing expert they were paying thousands of dollars to still wasn't getting results. It's a total nightmare, and it's a scenario that thousands of business owners live every day.
Now, here's the real mystery in all this. Rick wasn't some beginner who didn't know anything. He'd invested a ton of money in what you'd call textbook SEO. He had a great website, really good content, solid backlinks, the whole 9 yards. But for all that time and money and effort, Google would not move him an inch. He was just stuck, burning cash, and his agency had absolutely no answers for him. So let's just frame this up. Rick's situation, it highlights this huge, completely misunderstood problem in local search. See, it's not just about doing SEO, it's about doing the right kind of SEO for a local business, and that is exactly what we are going to unpack right now.
And this map, this says it all. This was Rick's ranking map before we started working with him. Every one of those dots is a location in his service area. Green means he's ranking, people can find him. Red means he's invisible. And as you can see, once you got outside of his immediate front door, it was just a sea of red. Online, he basically didn't exist.
Okay, so to fix this, we have to stop guessing what we think Google wants and start understanding what its local algorithm is actually designed to do. This is the core insight that changes everything. And honestly, it's what most SEO agencies get completely wrong.
You see, Google's local algorithm is trying to solve a totally different problem than its main traditional algorithm. When someone types in roofer near me, Google's #1 job is to show them a business that's actually going to show up at their house and fix their roof, not just some national company with a bunch of great blog posts. It's looking for real-world, boots-on-the-ground trust.
And how does it find that trust? Well, it looks for 3 very specific signals. Number 1, proof that you are a legitimate physical business. Number 2, proof that you actually provide services in that specific geographic area. And number 3, proof that other local entities, I'm talking real-world organizations, not just websites, recognize that you exist. You miss any one of these, and you're invisible. It is literally that simple.
All right, so that's the why. Now let's get into the how. This is the exact 5-step system we used that hits all 3 of those trust signals, and let me tell you, it generates ridiculously fast results.
So here's our roadmap. First, we're going to build what we call the Core 30. Then, we create a digital paper trail. After that, we get high-trust citations, build powerful local links, and finally, get reviews the right way. So let's dive into step 1.
Okay, step 1 is incredibly simple, but I swear 90% of businesses mess this up. All you do is create a perfect one-to-one match between your website and your Google business profile. So if your profile says you offer residential roofing, you need a page on your website with the exact title, Residential Roofing. This creates this massive, undeniable signal of relevance that Google just can't ignore.
Now, I know what you're thinking. I can just use AI to crank out 30 pages in an hour. And yeah, you can. But that's exactly where most people fail. You have to prove to Google that all this new content isn't just low-quality, AI-generated spam. And here's how you do that. This is the secret sauce. For every single one of those new pages you create, you point at least one simple external link at it. This acts as a digital paper trail. It's an outside source giving your page a little vote of confidence. It tells Google, hey, this page has value, it's not just some internal fluff. Skipping this one step is precisely why some agencies can create tons of content and see absolutely 0 results for months on end. All right, on to step 3. I want you to completely forget about those spammy online business directories that haven't been relevant since, 2017. We're talking about a very specific type of citation that's 10 times more powerful because it's built entirely on verification and trust. These are the ones that actually move the needle.
So we're talking about platforms like the Better Business Bureau, Apple Maps, and even the navigation systems that are built into cars like BMW and Mercedes. Now, why these? It's simple.
You can't fake a listing here. They require strict verification, proof of your address, your phone number, your real-world existence. And Google sees that as a massive, high-authority trust signal.
Now for step 4. And listen, this is the single most powerful piece of the entire puzzle. This is what separates getting fast results from getting slow ones, or no results at all. We need links that prove you are an authentic, embedded part of your local community. These are signals that are absolutely impossible to fake, and this is where you just blow past your competition.
So what does that look like in the real world? It's things like joining the local chamber of commerce, sponsoring a kid's baseball team, getting listed on your city's official directory of preferred contractors. We had a personal injury attorney in New Orleans do this. He sponsored a local event, and the day after that link went live on the event website, he jumped from position 8 to position 3, and his very first call was a $14,000 case. That's the power of local trust.
And finally, step 5. A lot of people have this idea that you need hundreds and hundreds of reviews to rank on Google. That's just false. Reviews are not primarily for the algorithm. They are for the human customer on the other side of the screen. Getting ranked gets you seen, but having great, recent reviews, that's what gets you the call. So let's talk about the easy way to get them. See, Rick was starting to rank, but his reviews were old. The solution wasn't some fancy, expensive software. It was a simple, personal text message that he sent to his 10 most recent happy clients. The script was super simple, it came directly from his personal phone number, and the success rate was huge. He got 7 brand new reviews in just a couple of days, and that was the final tipping point that made the phones really start to ring.
So after putting all 5 of these pieces into place, what happened to Rick? You know, the stressed-out roofer who was literally about to sell his motorcycle just to make ends meet? Well, let's take a look at the incredible payoff.
This is Rick's ranking map just 2 weeks later. Remember that sea of red we saw earlier? It's gone. It's been completely replaced by a field of green dots, blanketing his entire market. This right here is what total digital domination looks like for a local business, and it's something you can absolutely achieve too.
And you know, the most incredible part of this whole thing? The speed. We're talking 2 weeks. In just 2 weeks, he went from having his crew calling him asking if they should look for other jobs to being fully booked out. Multiple calls started coming in every single day.
But the best part for me was the phone call I got from Rick and his wife after they booked 3 jobs in a single morning. All that panic and stress was just gone. It was replaced with pure excitement. They weren't talking about how to pay the bills anymore. They were talking about hiring more people to handle all the new demand. It was complete, life-changing transformation.
You know, to Rick, this whole thing felt like magic. But it wasn't magic. It was just math. It wasn't about tricks or loopholes. It was about providing Google with the right digital GPS coordinates that screamed, "I am a trustworthy local business." So the final question is, what coordinates is your business sending? Are you proving you're real, that you're local, and that you're recognized? Because at the end of the day, that's what Google is truly looking for. And now you have the roadmap to give it to them.